Laurie. Welcome to Safe Moves a Mobile Spine, the class where we spend 20 to 25 minutes or so moving our spine in all the different directions, all the directions it's meant to move. Today we're going to start lying on our back, so when you're ready, meet me on the mat. All right, so before we begin moving the spine, let's just notice the spine. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring your awareness to the back side of your body. And just notice what's heavy, what's light, what's on the mat, what's off the mat. Try to get a sense of the heaviness of your body and the fact that that mat is just there to completely support you. Notice the bottoms of your feet now. And they should be about hips distance apart and parallel with each other. Your feet should be parallel, not the bottoms. And you should have nice even weight through the bottoms of your feet. So all four corners equally grounded into the floor. All right, here we go. Wouldn't be a mobile spine class without the bridge. So we're going to start there. Rock your pelvis towards you. Feel that low back just make slight contact with the floor and start rolling up. And I want you to go really slow on these first few bridges, just so you can get a sense of the length of your spine, how much there is. And each and every vertebrae, until you get down to your sacrum, are separate from each other. So we want to try to find as much articulation as possible. Roll down just as slow. All the way through that low back. Bring it all the way into the tailbone, so you really increase the curve in your low back. That low back really lifts up off the floor. Get a big space under there. And then go again. Start by rocking your pelvis toward you. Use the belly muscles, not your feet, to do that first movement. And then roll it up super slow. We'll do one more complete bridge, so take all the time you need. Don't rush to finish, but whenever you are finished, just find your neutral position and go back to having your awareness on your neutral spine position. Notice what's heavy, what's light, where your spine curves in, where your spine curves out. And then move your arms a little off to the sides. Drop your knees over to the right. Just let them go. Just let them fall. Fall as heavy as possible. Keep your left shoulder blade nice and heavy on the floor as much as possible. Chest open towards the ceiling. And then reach through your left hip to bring those legs back to center. So the legs are just heavy and lazy. It's the oblique muscles and many other things. But we'll just say obliques for right now. Reaching that pelvis back up. Kneecaps pointing towards the ceiling. Drop your knees to the left. Just give into it. And then reach through your right hip. Bring those knees back to center. Okay, go side to side. With each and every one, see if you can drop heavier into that twist. Bring more attention to your upper body. So I already said it, but keep even weight through those shoulder blades. So as the legs go to the right, that left shoulder is just as heavy as when you're in neutral, or at least that's what we're trying to do. Notice the stability in your upper body. So from like your sort of mid rib cage up, That's stable. And from the mid rib cage down, you're mobile. Next time your knees fall to the right, roll all the way over onto your side. Line yourself up so your feet are stacked, knees are stacked, hips are stacked. And in this position, your rib cage is also stacked. We want to keep the lower body now stable and move through the upper body. So everything from about the pelvis down is staying still, as if we weren't moving at all. And then everything from the pelvis up is going to rotate. Take your left arm up high towards the ceiling. And then rotate your rib cage towards the ceiling. Notice how that left hip wants to go with you. Keep it in place. Keep it in its neutral. Even if that means you can't twist back as far. And then rotate your rib cage back to center. Rotate open, rib cage towards the ceiling. And remember in the last exercise, the knee drops, when I say like pull through your hip to bring yourself back to neutral, it's the same idea. We're pulling through the rib cage to come back to center. The arm is just heavy and lazy going along for the ride, just like the legs were before. One more time for this side. And then you can roll right over and set yourself up for the second side. First, stack everything. Take a moment to just find that position. And then right arm up towards the ceiling. Rotate your chest towards the ceiling. This side might be different. And then pull that rib cage back to neutral. Let your arm follow. And then just keep at it, a few more. And when you finish up the one you're on, you can go ahead and roll over onto your stomach. All right, rest your forehead on your hands. Bring your awareness to the front of your body now. So the spine isn't as close to the mat anymore, but you can still maybe notice the curves in your spine. And then lengthen your tailbone down toward your feet. What that's going to do is adjust your pelvis a little bit. It's going to press your hip creases into the floor. And you can actively sort of zipper those low belly muscles up to help support it. It's going to lengthen through your low back a little bit. Then when you're ready, lift your head, elbows, and shoulders up off the floor without crunching in that low back. So we're keeping that tailbone reaching toward your feet. And then lower down. Tailbone's lengthening down, belly muscles are pulling in just to support your low back, and lift head, neck, and shoulders up just a tiny bit, a couple inches, and release. Keep going. It's helpful to inhale as you lift up and exhale as you come down. The breath and the diaphragm and the lungs, when you inhale, helps to facilitate this spine extension. So that's when you're going up. And then the exhale facilitates coming back to neutral. Okay, so right now we're just moving our spine in one of the ways. We're starting at neutral and then we're going up into extension. Now we're going to do two movements at the same time. We'll do extension and rotation. So first, nice and heavy in your lower body, even weight on the left and right sides from your pelvis down. Then Tailbone lengthens towards your feet. Belly muscles pull up and in. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders just like you did before, but now twist and peek underneath one elbow. And come back to center, lower down. Lift, twist, peek underneath that other elbow. Back to center, bring it down. Keep going side to side. And now this is a twist, not a side bend. So the sides of your body, like your waistline, above your waistline, below your waistline, none of that is shortening up. And one more time each side. And then rest it down. Press yourself back into a quick little child's pose here. Knees apart, sink down between those hips. We'll get a bonus hip stretch here. And then draw your belly button in towards your spine and then towards the wall behind you even. Let that start lifting you up to sitting. All right, while we're sitting, you can sit on the floor in a chair. We're going to do some more rotation. So sit comfortably. Even weight in your bottom. We want to maintain that. That's a really important thing with this rotation. And then take your right hand over to your left knee or the left side of your chair. Sit up nice and tall again. And then just twist your belly button over. And you probably won't get very far. You're going to feel just a little engagement down here in those little belly muscles. And then twist just below your rib cage over. Again, not very far. Bottom part of your rib cage. Middle part of your rib cage. Upper part of your rib cage. Now your shoulders, neck, and head. And hold that there. When you inhale, sit up taller. Get length and space between those vertebrae. When you exhale, see if you can twist a little bit more. Use your right hand and your knee as a lever so you can pull on it to help get deeper into that twist. And then slowly come back to neutral. Let's try the other side. Left hand to the right knee. First, sit up tall. Get that as much length as you can. And then just your belly button. It almost feels like a half smile. Like your body doesn't move. It's just like the muscles engage. So first your belly button. And then below your rib cage. And then the bottom up part of your rib cage. Those low guys. And then the middle rib cage. The upper rib cage. Chest, shoulders, neck, and head. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, twist deeper. And then come back to center. Let's twist to the left again. We'll go a little bit faster now. Do try to do it from the bottom up, but you can definitely do it a little more rapid. So right hand to the left knee, twist. Back to center, twist towards the right. So by breaking it down from the belly button, lower rib cage, upper rib cage, shoulder, by breaking down the twist, what we're showing our spine is that, or what we're doing is rotating our spine in the parts. Let me start over. So for instance, you don't have a lot of rotation in your lower spine. That's why when you go to move the belly button, you don't get very far. And then the same is true for a little bit higher up. And then as you start getting into your thoracic spine, your more upper back, you have a lot more rotation. So that's why you can get that much bigger movement. So throughout the day, you don't have to think about that while you're rotating, but it's good to train your body to naturally find that rotation on its own. All right, let's come back down to our backs. Knees bent, feet on the floor. And we're going to talk about the neck now, the cervical vertebrae. There's 7 of them. They're all important. C1, C2, those are your first ones. Those guys have a special job. They are the ones that really support the movements of your head. Now there's a lot of big muscles that do that, and there's a lot of tiny muscles that do that. So we're going to address both groups right now. Pretend you have a pencil point on the very tip of your nose, and that's all I want you to think about. Ignore your head, ignore your neck, and then just draw a little line up on the ceiling and down on the ceiling. Up and down. Super small movements. Someone watching might not even notice. And then let's go side to side. I find that this one's even smaller. This movement is smaller. Sometimes I think I'm even just imagining that I'm moving my pencil point. And then circles. Little itty bitty circles. Reverse. And then rest in center. All right, now the bigger muscles, the ones you're probably more familiar with. We're going to draw that line up and down on the ceiling. But now our chin is going to tip up and our chin tips down. And I really want you to get that chin as close to your chest as you can, mainly trying to lengthen the back of your neck as much as you can. And then lift that chin up, stretching the front of your neck, and then chin down, stretching the back of your neck. And then bring your head to its neutral position, so you're in center. We're going to go side to side. So this feels more like a normal head turn that you probably do a lot during your day. But try to stay aware of your upper back, your shoulders. I want them to stay as even on the floor as possible. And then turn your head as much as you can from there, as much as comfortable. And this is one of those that sides are typically different from each other. So just notice your body, which side can go further, which side feels more easeful. And then bring your head back to center. We're going to skip circles, big head circles for the big neck muscles. But what we're going to do is work the front neck muscles a little bit here in a really safe and gentle way. This will help as you progress into more upper level classes. A lot of exercises when your head is lifted. This is really going to help. So it's back to that chin nod. So bring your chin down towards your chest, and I want you to, we're not going to lift the head, but it's as if you're just trying to see your toes. You're trying to find your feet. And then release it. And then chin to chest, try to see your toes. And release. 3 more times, chin to chest, look for your toes. Release. 2 more. Good. And release. Bring your head back to a neutral spine position. Roll over to your side. Come back up to sitting on the floor or in a chair. Okay. Even weight through your tush again. A nice tall spine. Take your right arm up high towards the ceiling. Now here, we're going to side bend over to the left, but try to create a lot of space in these waistlines. The right side is going to be easy. We're stretching it. The left side, though, is going to be a little bit more challenging to maintain that space. Usually we collapse into it, but what I want you to think about is making a C with your body, the letter C. So right arm up and curve it over, side bending over to the left. Breathe deep. Pretend you're in control of where your breath goes. Send more air into your right lung. Fill it up. Stretch those ribs away from each other. 2 more. And then bring your rib cage right on top of your pelvis, returning up to neutral. Bring your left arm up. Same thing on this right side. We're going into a C curve, trying to maintain as much length in that side, even though we're bending. Stay heavy in the left side of your seat. Send your air to your left lung. Fill it up. And then bring yourself up to sitting. Let's side bend back to the left. This time though, we're going to add some rotation. So after you did your side bend, rotate your shoulders as if you were going to make them square to the floor. They probably won't get square to the floor, but we're moving in that direction. Maintain the heaviness in your bottom side on the right. Hips are still square to the front of the room. Lots of rotation in that mid to upper back area. All right, unrotate. Bring it back. Left arm up and over. Unrotate. I don't know if that's an actual word. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know if it's a real word. I'll have to check after class. And then rotate down. And unrotate. And come back up to your neutral spine position. So today, as you're moving around through life, just notice how your spine moves when you are forward, when you're forward inflection, back and extension, when you're side bending, when you're rotating, and even more interesting, notice the combo moves. So when you're back and twisting or side bending and twisting. So just become aware of it and see where you're twisting from your spine. Just kind of acknowledge, is it in the lower part, the mid part, the upper part? And I'll see you next time. Bye.